Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, Amazon exclusive, gold label, Tim Drake as Robin. This is Tim Drake, and I believe his second costume as Robin. This is from 1 year later. Instead of the red, green, and yellow, it's predominantly red with some yellow. This is an Amazon exclusive, and it looks like it's going to be changed into a traditional red, yellow, and green Tim Drake in the future, but we'll get to that in the video. Let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. As you can see, McFarlane Gold Label Collection, ages 12 plus, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, Robin, Tim Drake. Tim Drake is currently Red Robin, Damian Wayne's the current Robin, but this would be from his stint as Robin. He's probably my favorite Robin. Tim Drake was my Robin in the 90s when I was reading comics, and always been very fond of that guy. One side of the package, Robin, Tim Drake. Other side, Robin, Tim Drake. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that happens to help anybody. And the back side, here's Robin posed up, wearing that suit. I'll tell you, the head definitely looks more like Dick Grayson to me than Tim Drake, but different artists, different strokes. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And as always, I did end up getting two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, and one to keep in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Here are all the Tim Drake Robin figures they've made. We have the Gotham Knights Tim Drake Robin, the comic 1 year later suit Robin, and then the New 52 Tim Drake as Red Robin. Now, we know for pretty much a fact we're going to get a traditional Red Robin in the green, red, and yellow attire based off this figure, but we'll dig in deep more into that in the video. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand, a collector's card, a batarang, and then Tim Drake's signature staff. I think all the Tim Drake figures have come with that so far. Before we look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Tim Drake. He was the third Robin. His original suit was more traditional, yellow, red, and green, but it wasn't sort of hokey like the original one. Short shorts, no, pants, etc., etc. It was a more modernized version, and I definitely appreciated that. It made Robin a little more quote-unquote cool. This is his second costume. Similar to his first one, pretty much an entire red suit, but there are a lot of inaccuracies here. So let's take a look at him. Starting with his face here. Domino mask looks pretty good. The hair, it's going up, sort of spiked. He's got a very armored look to him. And honestly, as a whole, the figure looks too big and beefy. He should be more lean. I remember this red suit being a lot more simple. You can see the sleeves here. Obviously, they're doing the original suit. He had all the pouches on his sleeves. This would be flesh down here. Green. They were really kind of lazy with this guy. They took the Tim Drake that we all want, and they just repainted him red, and it just looks so dumb right here. Once this is brought to your attention, he's got this bicep sleeve, and it's supposed to be one slim red outfit, a long red sleeve. You can totally see what they're going to be doing in the future. So lazy, and they have other arms they could have used. It just doesn't make sense. His chest seems very armored. His red suit was a lot slimmer and lean, no armored parts like that. I don't even think it looks too armored for his original green suit. Got the buckles down it. Nice utility belt. I always loved how Tim Drake had those pouches all over his, sleeves and gloves. Ton of different gadgets and capsules and stuff in there. Legs don't look too bad. About what it should look like. Boots. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. I just have a really hard time looking at this and being like, well, that's cool. That's supposed to be one long red sleeve. It's sure broken up. Cape, black on the outside, yellow on the inside. The colors do pop on this guy, and he looks nice, but it's just so many lazy inaccuracies that bother me about this figure. And I mentioned, this body is just too big and beefy for Tim Drake. In his red suit, he looked very lean. And let's not kid ourselves, this is probably going to be 95% of the exact same body we're going to get for the classic Tim Drake Robin costume. and he just looks too big for him. Tim Drake was always a young, lean character. I don't know, it just seems too armored and bulky. Even his Robin logo, it's like a sculpted oval with a circle on top. They just took like every possible shortcut they could. And McFarlane is actually known for using unique sculpts and not reusing stuff, especially when it's this noticeable. And it's reuse with something that hasn't been released yet. And they have most of the parts they could have used. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Yeah, I can sort of see Tim Drake in there. Hair's not quite the way I remember it, but it's not bad. Now I went ahead and did the shot later in the review. I've been pretty calm about the figure, pretty tame, pretty accepting about all of their lazy shortcuts and etc, etc. But here's the deal. Figure looks nice. Figure looks good. I'd say it's our best Tim Drake figure. That's kind of embarrassing to say. This is the closest thing I can do to have a fill-in for Red Robin in my DC Rebirth team. So for that, I'm thankful for this figure. But some of the things they've done are just frankly inexcusable. I know I'm repeating myself a million times over, but let's just get this out there one more time. First of all, he's too beefy for the body he's intended to be, which is the classic Tim Drake Robin. Just a little bit. He did have that sort of armored torso area, but it just seems too big. He's always been so thin, so lean. Now, it's just so lazy, and this is what McFarlane is not known for. This is why it makes me so mad. What the fuck is this? The sleeve? You just paint that thing red? This is reuse of a figure that hasn't even come out yet. All the pouches, all the armor on the front, it is nonsense. That is not how he looked in this outfit. It was a smooth, cloth-looking outfit, sleek, really no extra details, no armor, no pouches, and that stuff looks so cool, and we know what it's going to be used for eventually. McFarlane is known for not doing this stuff. The figure looks good, but McFarlane, you fucked it up. You were so lazy. You just literally painted his arms red and said, hey, that's a full sleeve. That is not a full sleeve. Look at that thing. That is atrocious. Still the best Tim Drake we got, and that sucks to be able to say. One that you fucked up is our best Tim Drake. To add insult to injury, if you're being lazy and reusing stuff, and that's fine. Every toy company does it. You had the parts. Take Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. Put them out there. Paint them red. Add these trunks to him. Bam! It's closer to Robin than what you made. You could have done it without spending any more money. I do not understand. Put his cape, his trunks, his head on Blue Beetle. Paint him red, black. Bam! It's closer to what you were supposed to achieve than what you did. And you could do it by being equally as lazy and cheap. Okay, I'm done for now, and I'm sure I'm going to touch on this like 25 more times in this video. Why it makes me so angry is McFarlane is known for unique sculpts for $20 figures. That's why they're better than everybody else in the game. But then you do some shit like this, and you just show us how bad you can be. Boy, you guys pulled a fast one on Amazon. Gave the Amazon exclusive a fucked up Robin. And the sad thing is, it's still going to sell out, because that's just how this stuff works. If I go back in time, I don't regret buying him. I'm going to get all the Batman-related stuff in the McFarlane line. He's a nice-looking figure. But boy, if you know what to look for, you cannot look away from those arms, the wrongfully armored torso, etc. And it just sucks knowing the right parts were there the whole time. Now let's check out his accessories. Let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's that display stand we've seen a million times before. Typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle. It says DC at the bottom. It's got one peg for the pegals on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's that same image of Tim Drake and the entire Red Robin suit. To me, that does not look like Tim Drake at all. They chose a poor picture. Robin, Tim Drake. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Here's his Batarang. Nice Batarang. No reuse. Kind of sort of a triangle shape. Should be nice for a Batman figure or a Robin figure. Here's Tim Drake holding and getting ready to throw that Batarang. I'll probably go ahead and give it to one of my Batman figures instead though. Now let's look at his staff. Tim Drake always had a staff ever since his first days as Robin. This staff, kind of interesting. You can see the different sort of notches and the sculpting detail as we go up and down. different areas for him to grab it. Here's this Tim Drake staff in the center, next to the other versions of Tim Drake staffs McFarlane has made. Gotham Knights at the top, and the New 52 at the bottom. His signature weapon. Here's Tim Drake holding his staff. He can hold it with either one hand or with two. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, to the tip top of his hair, about 6.9 inches tall. So I'd say the figure's probably about 6.8 inches tall, which is just about 17 centimeters. Now let's look at his articulation. Starting with his head here. Of course, you can rotate from side to side. Up that far, down that far. Pretty good range of motion there. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out a good 90 degrees, maybe a hair less. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering up that gap. Bicep cut right at the sleeve, hidden nicely. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. His wrist and his ankle are done in the new style, not the older, ugly ball joints. Rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint his waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Waist very, very tight. Giving him a pretty good range of motion of his torso area. Just bothers me how lazy and the lack of caring and detail they used. This armored torso is incorrect. The sleeves are incorrect. Legs, complete as the splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation. It's better than some of the McFarlane figures. Legs go forward about that far. Back not too much. Double jointed knees. And his ankle here. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt. Rock. And he has toe articulation. Now I mentioned before, this figure seems a little bit too thick. Not lean enough for Tim Drake. And I feel pretty strongly about that. Now, let's not kid ourselves. This is definitely the body we're going to get for our classic green, red, and yellow Tim Drake eventually. And maybe it makes a little more sense for that. He's a little bit more armored in the chest. But he was always so thin and lean back then. His body is not quite the right one. Now, forget even talking about the classic Tim Drake that we know is going to get the same body. Let's talk about this red suit Tim Drake. It should be much leaner. The costume should be completely different. And like I said, they already have the parts. Look at this Blue Beetle here. Thin, lean, smooth arms, smooth chest and torso. They could have easily just taken his torso, his arms, popped on this guy, and it would have been a simple Tim Drake in his red suit. Not all these pouches and weird sleeves that just look inaccurate, and it's painted red where the flesh should be. McFarlane, come on, you guys don't usually do this. Disappointing. Here's Tim Drake on a rooftop overlooking Gotham City. Add in the Detective Comics 1000 Batman, and they make a pretty good dynamic duo for the time. Although, this blue and gray 3 Jokers Batman from the Amazon Batman Family 5-pack also looks pretty good with this Robin. The Robin's a little bigger than he should be, and this Batman's way bigger than he should be, so they match decent. Here are all 4 of Batman's Robins, more or less in their current costumes. Dick Grayson as Nightwing, Jason Todd as Red Hood, Tim Drake in his all-red Robin suit, although his current red Robin suit is considerably different, and then Damian Wayne as Robin, although he's on a darker suit now. I still prefer this one. Here's Tim Drake at the Bat Computer in the Belfry. He's always been one of their tech guys. Maybe not quite as tech-savvy as Oracle, but he's definitely into the computers. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Tim Drake action figures. Here's this new Tim Drake as Robin figure, next to Tim Drake as Red Robin. This is his Red Robin from the New 52. Then, next to another Tim Drake as Robin figure, this is Tim Drake as Robin from the upcoming video game Gotham Knights. Here are all 3 of McFarlane's Tim Drake figures. Red Robin, Robin, and Robin. Now, as much as I appreciate this newest Tim Drake figure, it is probably my favorite of the 3. It's still not the costume I want the most. The Tim Drake I want the most would be Red Robin in his Rebirth suit. That way I can expand on my Rebirth Bat family. And my second choice would be Tim Drake in his classic green, red, and yellow Robin suit. It is painfully obvious we are going to be getting that one. this lazy reuse of his body, this shameful use for Robin in his red suit. It definitely shows you what we're going to get in the future, which is really cool, but it gives us this sort of mixed, mediocre figure. And they had the parts to make him better. That's what I find so frustrating. Now let's check him out, next to some Tim Drake figures from different various companies. But first, let's check him out with a couple all-red suit Robin figures they've made. Here he is with the Batman and Son, Tim Drake Robin. Exact same outfit. You can see a lot of similarities. The buckles, the coloring, the cape, utility belt, not too far off. Big difference I see, guy's very slim, very lean. It's one solid outfit. No armor, no pouches, none of that extra stuff. It's not supposed to be there. I'm not a huge fan of this figure from DC Direct, but if you want to go from an accuracy point of view, I know who wins. And here he is, next to Mattel's version of the all-red suit Robin. Once again, a lot of similarities. One thing I noticed in the Mattel, it has the fins, bat fins on the side of the arms. McFarlane here skipped on that. Once again, another inaccuracy. Look at the two of them. Color scheme is similar. Buckles, Robin logo, belt, cape. Of course, now I'm going to add fins to the list of inaccuracies. But here's a hilarious thing about Mattel and McFarlane. They are opposites as far as this go. They both fucked this figure up, butchered him so bad in totally opposite ways. So McFarlane took the sculpt for the classic Tim Drake Robin suit, hasn't even been released yet, and decided to reuse that for the all-red Robin suit. I get being lazy. I totally get it, saving some money here for a gold label variant, blah, 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 whatever. Mattel made this Robin first in the all-red suit and made him fairly accurate. Then they lazily repainted him into the traditional green, red, and yellow Robin suit. They left the fins on him. Torso has none of that sort of armored pieces. Overall, a very lazy attempt. Yeah, I've seen some people shave off the fins, but should you have to do work to alter your figure just to make him look like the comics? McFarlane made the all-red suit, lazily repainted onto the classic Robin suit, and Mattel did the opposite. They made a fairly accurate red Robin suit, and not to be confused with Red Robin, but a red Robin suit. And then they lazily repainted it into the classic Robin. The sad thing is, Mattel is known for stuff like this, so we expect it. McFarlane is not. Sigh. Here's this new Tim Drake, next to all of the DC Direct and DC Collectibles Tim Drake Robin figures that I have. There is one that I would like to get. I think it's a Teen Titans Robin. Probably the best looking classic DC Direct Robin there's out there. And here he is, next to a Yamato Robin. Here's this McFarlane and Tim, next to all of my Mattel Tim Drake Robin figures. I think I have all those guys. This figure's by Mattel. He's from the Batman Power Attack line. I think it's supposed to be a Tim Drake Robin. The outfit kind of looks that way. He's got the flip in his hair, the Robin logo. But they actually never made a Nightwing. Nothing ever actually said who this guy was. And so as far as the character selection goes, you kind of assume it's Dick Grayson. So Tim Drake's first costume was the red, green, and yellow. Then he went to sort of the all-red Robin suit. A little while later, he switched to this suit and became Red Robin after Damian Wayne became Robin. I think at this point he was traveling around the world looking for the dead Bruce Wayne. This is a reuse from the Red Robin suit from Kingdom Come that Dick Grayson wore. And there is another Red Robin figure here in that same suit, but this one is actually from Kingdom Come, and it's Dick Grayson, not Tim Drake. Then, DC Direct made a figure of Robin's next suit. This is his winged Red Robin suit. McFarlane also made a figure of this. Visually, it's a pretty cool suit, but it's for a very specific era of the New 52. It doesn't work for a modern Robin or Red Robin. It doesn't work for a classic Robin. It works for something way in between. And this guy's had a bunch of suits at this point. And here he is, next to a Mattel DC Multiverse. Red Robin from the Rebirth suit. Now this is the suit I want McFarlane to make. When I heard about a gold label Robin, I got excited and thought this was what it's going to be. Disappointed in this figure for a lot of reasons, even though it's still our best Tim Drake. McFarlane, make this guy for me, please. Even though I think he's probably onto another suit at this point, now that they've, quote-unquote, altered the character. And finally, here he is next to a custom Tim Drake in civilian attire. I made this guy many years ago. He's a little on the short side, but that's what I wanted. Tim Drake is typically an older teenager. This guy's got spiked hair, regular clothing. I thought it worked pretty good. Face, a little sterner than I would have liked though. Now let's check him out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. This Tim Drake Robin is an Amazon exclusive. Here he is, next to the other Amazon exclusive they made. This is the Batman Family 5-pack. This McFarlane line's been going on for a better part of 3 years now. And these are the first 2 Amazon exclusive releases, and they both just dropped. Looking forward to more, because they're fairly easy to get, very obtainable. Definitely easier than a Walmart exclusive. And here he is, next to a couple of Target exclusive gold label figures. We have Ocean Master, and the 30th anniversary Batman from Batman the Animated Series. Then, next to some more Target exclusive gold label figures, we've got Kyle Rayner Green Lantern from Changing the Guard, Defiance Deathstroke, Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman, and Black Adam movie Black Adam with Throne. These are all recent Target exclusive gold label releases. Here's Robin, next to the McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 DC figures, the Batman Who Laughs and Joker. And here he is, next to the Speed Metal Wave, collective build The Darkest Night, and next to the Arkham City Wave, collective build Solomon Grundy, and now, next to the third wave of Page Punchers, this was a Flash-themed wave. We've got Atom, Flash, Gorilla Grodd, Kevin Cold, and Heatwave. Here's Robin, next to the second wave of Page Punchers. This is an Injustice 2 wave, Batman and Green Arrow. And here he is, with the first wave of Page Punchers. This is a Black Adam wave, Batman, Constantine, Superman, and Black Adam. Then, with the 2 most recent Mega figures, at least before Gorilla Grodd, these are Bane and Necron. And now, here's Robin, next to McFarlane Toy Store exclusive, Hush Superman, and Rebirth Kid Flash. Here's Tim Drake, next to the recent gold label Walmart exclusive figures. We've got Speed Metal Dark Flash, Rebirth Shazam, Nightfall Azrael Batman Armor, and Parallax Hal Jordan. And here he is, next to the Rebirth Deathstroke and the Court of Owl's Talon. Then, with the Blue Beetle and Booster Gold 2-pack. And now, next to the Dark Knight's Metal Batrocidus and the Speeding Bullets Batman, here's Tim, next to the Infinite Frontier Scarecrow, the New 52 Static, and the Future State Superman. Then, next to McFarlane Toy Store exclusive gold label paint variants of the Arkham Knight Red Hood and Scarecrow. The normal versions are on the way right now. And finally, here he is, next to the Black Adam movie wave, which I thought was complete, but on the newest leaked list, I saw gold label Unmasked, Dr. Fate. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next is more McFarlane Toys. These are from different various video game properties. And now, here he is with some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST, or Diamond Select Toys. Then, with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, it's a nice Tim Drake figure. It's a decent Robin figure. The figure itself looks good. But damn, McFarlane, you fucked it up. You fucked it up bad. You were so lazy. Did you guys think we weren't going to notice? Did you really think we were dumb enough not to notice this? Come on. Between the armored torso that shouldn't be that way, the sleeves that look ridiculous, all the pouches that shouldn't be there, little capsules, the fins that are missing. They really were lazy, took shortcuts, reused a figure that isn't even out yet to give us this Amazon exclusive. And the sad thing is, it's still our best Tim Drake Robin. I like the figure. If I go back in time, I still would have bought it. I still would have bought 2 of them. But my complaints are very valid. Yes, I'm happy to enter the Bat family. but he really doesn't fit in the modern Bat family or the 90s version. He's a very specific era, an era that I'm not trying to complete a team of. It'll be nice to have all the different Tim Drake, Robin, and Red Robin costumes lined up. But my two biggest ones are classic Tim Drake Robin, and obviously we're going to be getting that. And then it's going to be Red Robin in his Rebirth suit. Hopefully eventually we'll get that. I'm actually shocked they haven't completed the Batman Family Rebirth team. Batwoman, Orphan, Spoiler, Red Robin. Ton of glaring omissions. And that's just the core team. You get to the extended family. There are so many things we need. If I were to rate this figure, man, it's a tough call. I'm probably going to give him a 6 out of 10. Maybe that's being too generous. The figure itself looks nice. It looks good for what it is. Although, once the sleeves are brought to your attention, you can look at nothing else. I'm still happy to have him, but he should have been a lot better. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.